So this started out as a hobby project, and now it's slowly turning into a business. And I would talk to you about the steps along the way and how it evolved. So BrewPi, brewing with a Raspberry Pi. Take it everybody knows here what a Raspberry Pi is? All right. Any home brewers here? Okay, great. That is what brewing looks like. It can look a bit disgusting, but that's actually a very healthy fermentation. That foam is called Kreutzen, and you'll want that on your beer. That's a Hefeweizen strain that I love to use. So why temperature control? This yeast strain I use, it's Y yeast 3068, and it produces different flavors at different temperatures. At low temperatures, around 70 degrees, it produces a clove flavor. If you go warmer, it produces banana flavors. If you go up again, around 24, it starts to taste like bubble gum, so you don't want that. And even higher, you get fusel alcohols, and it starts to taste like, well, paint thinner. So what I do when I ferment a beer like this, I start around 17 to keep the banana flavors low. Then as fermentation starts slowing down, slowly start ramping up the temperature to keep it going. And then after fermentation is done, I cool the beer down to improve clarity. And my fridge does all that for me. So I just want to give you a quick live demo. See if I can connect to my fridge in Eindhoven. Right, so this is my fridge in Eindhoven. Open it. Oh, okay. So there's a live version of the actual LCD display on the fridge that when it's up there, I'll just, when the beer temperature is supposed to be 20.5, no, 20.6 at the moment because it's slowly ramping up the temperature, it's 20.5. So the fridge temperature is set to 21.4 to control that beer temperature. And you see here that I've got, the red line is what is supposed to be the beer temperature at the moment. Blue line is the actual beer temperature, and you can see that spot on to within a tenth of a degree, it's following that line. And so what you can do at the bottom here, scroll down. So here is the temperature profile it's supposed to be following. It's just a Google spreadsheet where I just type in the number of days to change the temperature and the actual temperature, download that to the Raspberry Pi, start following it. And of course, if you want to brew better beer, you need data. So you can have a tab here where you can load all your previous beers, and you have the actual control algorithm where you can get all the variables that the fridge is using to set the temperature. Let's load those. Takes a while because it has to come all the way from the Arduino. So basically, you can see what the algorithm is doing and how it calculates the fridge setting. So I think that's it for the demo part. Okay, back to the presentation. So I'm using fridge to cool. On the right, that's my heating element, just a light bulb in the fridge. So this started out as a hobby. I started with this before the Raspberry Pi came out. It ran on an open source router, which is really buggy. It only has 60 megabytes of RAM. So it crashes all the time. And when Raspberry Pi came along, I said, okay, that's perfect, just what I needed. And I switched to Raspberry Pi. And the hardest part about doing this project was it runs on so many levels, all on different programming languages. The low-level temperature control is on Arduino, and it's C++. That talks to a Python script on the Pi. Then that connects to a system socket with a web server. So that's PHP, and then through IX request it talks to the web interface in JavaScript. And I was new to Linux in general, PHP, JavaScript, CSS. So I had to teach myself lots of new things to build this. And the next step was I built it, put it on my personal blog, say, look what I built. So I put this on Reddit, got 30,000 views next day, and that's when I started thinking, there might be some business in this. People want a system like this. But it was just this hack-together system. And to get other people involved, I needed a next step. So I changed the name from Uberfridge, what it was before, changed it to BrewPi. And what I realized is if I want to bring other people in, I'm not building a product, I'm building a collaboration platform. So the first thing I did is rewrote all the Arduino code to be proper classes, not a hack-together system, but something someone else can extend. And then put online a blog, a forum, put the code on GitHub. It was on Google Code before, but GitHub's way better for collaboration. Put on a bug tracker online, wiki with step-by-step instructions if you want to build this yourself. These are the steps. And released another blog post saying, I built this, I want you guys to come in and start building it with me. Put it on Reddit again, 80,000 views, because what I did is just put it on Reddit, and then Slashdot covered it, Wired, Hackaday, the Raspberry Pi blog, and now, I think it's 3 months later, still 15,000 views a day to my website that basically I haven't got the time to get proper info on there. So what do I think helped spread it? Of course, brewing beer is cool. And I used very popular platforms. Raspberry Pi and Arduino are the most popular platforms out there. The Raspberry Pi can be replaced by any Linux box, basically. But if you say this runs on the Pi, you get in blog posts like the 10 coolest project with the Pi. And same goes for Arduino. I mean, they're a way better alternative for the same price. But I kept it for Arduino just to get people along, and maybe we'll make a switch to a more powerful platform later. So it spread. At this point, I'm not selling anything. Just put schematics online, board's layout, instructions on how to set the permissions, how to upload the code to your Pi and everything. And people just starting copying and building it. So these are all pictures from users that have copied my system. So this one, put it in a nice aluminum box. This one is also a nice box with a Raspberry Pi, solid state relays, everything in one box. So prototyping on his desk, this one as well. And here's I would look in a fridge with a thermal well temperature sensor inside it. But the people that have built it now are electrical engineers. A web developer cannot build this. So what I wanted to do is just be able to provide the hardware to get web developers and other programmers that are good at software but not at hardware to bring them along. So I developed this Arduino Shield that you will be able to buy from me in 1 to 2 weeks. So basically I want to sell complete kits. Buy a kit from me with everything you need, just provide the fridge, the Arduino and the Raspberry Pi. So then I ordered 100 of these PCBs. First run, just 100. And I start looking at where to buy components. And basically, you cannot ignore buying from China because the price you pay there is 20% of what you would pay in the US. But buying from China is a bitch. So basically, the only way is you go to Alibaba. If you ever need to buy something from Alibaba, they have an option to get a quote from 10 people at once. Don't use it if you don't want to receive spam for the rest of your life. So get yourself a disposable email address and find a buyer that has a product or a similar product you want, and ask them through email directly or through the chat option on the website. Can you give me a quote for that? But I've sourced most of the parts, was actually really hurry to do it before Monkigras because it's a Chinese New Year now, and China closes all factories for the next 2 weeks. So it's been an interesting last 2 weeks for me. And then scaling production. 100 boards, you cannot outsource production of 100 boards. So I have a reflow oven, small reflow oven at home. For the first 100, just assembling them myself because I want to provide a hardware to bring programmers in. This already received just before I came here. A box full of LCD displays. And you see a stack of boards. Hopefully the next step will be get people to use this stuff. Profit is not the main thing now. If I want this project to spread, I need developers to start collaborating on writing this stuff. So my main goal is now let others contribute and get people to use it. But already, even I have not sold anything, people are already doing things. So all the specific gravity sensor I'm working on myself. But this enclosure is designed by 2 friends of mine, laser cut, should be available through the shop as well. I'm also working on thermoelectric cooler because fridges are bulky. Some people don't have space for a fridge. Some people have way too many cowboys to put a fridge around everyone. So that's next development. And also a forum user is porting the whole web interface through a proper PHP framework. Because I'm a crappy web developer, and what you saw was just what I had together with the help of Google. And I need a proper framework to make it extensible. So some concluding remarks. I think BrewPi is really crafty. Most open source projects probably are because I'm saying, okay, here's something that you can get as a starting point, and people fork it and GitHub and start working on their own creative additions. What you could have seen on the shield here is that I put a big prototype area here just to add your own components to this shield. So brewers are people that like to build things themselves. So that was something that I couldn't imagine not doing BrewPi open source. Because that was what brewers were. They want to tinker with stuff. Some other things go public early. It's full of bugs at the moment. But if it's good enough to get people along, just release it and bug fixes will come. And finally, spreading great stuff is easy. I mean, I only put this on Reddit, and if it's great, other blogs will cover it. You don't have to worry about channels at all, just worry about being great. That's it, thank you.